Hey guys, it is NCS Fan 001 here for another one of those Tuesday trophy and achievement talk videos or updates, whatever you wish to call it at this point, now that achievements are a part of it. Anyway, this will have covered the week of approximately August the 26th through September the 1st of 2025, so already into the final third of the year, which is pretty crazy, the final 4 months of the year. So, yeah, let's go ahead and address a quick elephant in the room. No trophy progress made this week. I played a little bit of Death Stranding, but made, very little progress on it. Although I did finish up some stuff in College Football 26 because I've been working on a trophy guide for it, so I've got that submitted, so thankfully I'll hopefully have that out within, another week. I think they're currently on their, end of summer break that they always do, so that might not be up for a couple of weeks, but currently working on that and basically have it done, so hopefully it'll be uploaded correctly and all soon enough. But anyways, alongside that, I didn't actually make any trophy progress, so let's go ahead and address that because I've been getting asked by a number of people hey, have you stopped trophy hunting now and just focus only on retro achievements? The answer to that is definitely a no. I absolutely am continuing to do trophy hunting stuff, but just the retro achievements has a few advantages right now. The first one is that it's something different, and it's something that isn't as heavily oversaturated on YouTube the way that trophy and even Xbox achievement content is. Because for the most part, bigger trophy and achievement channels aren't doing retro achievements for the most part. I don't think Nick AR's ever done anything with them. I don't think Illusion's done anything with them. I don't think Snam's done anything with them. So for the most part, and obviously Brian at PlayStation Trophies and Power Picks don't do anything with retro achievements either. Because Bushido does stuff with them, and maybe a couple of the other channels that are sub 100,000 subscribers have done stuff with them. Platinum Pace might have done something with them. But for the most part, it's much more of a niche in that sense, and there's a lot fewer big YouTubers doing it, so it gives me a chance to maybe break out into a different field once I get the first video up, which is going to be the LEGO Star Wars one. And at the same time, it's just been a lot of fun going back and playing some of these classic games again that I grew up with that defined my childhood and actually getting to get achievements and stuff in them. It's been a ton of fun so far, so no, trophy hunting is not done by any means at all, and I'm still slowly working on Death Stranding. I definitely want to get, once I finish up the current game I'm working on with retro achievements, I want to move back over to trophy hunting for a little while so I can get some videos and stuff edited. So that's definitely a big thing. Astrobot's probably 65% of the way done at this point, so good progress is being made there. Don't know if it'll be out this week, but we'll have to see. It should be kind of close. But aside from Astrobot, the next couple will be a little bit shorter because one of them's the Bluey failed speed run, another one's the Clock Tower speed run around the Dead Rising 2 video off the record, which that one hopefully will be good, but I'm wondering if I shouldn't just wait and save it for a possible remake of that game alongside Dead Rising 2, because the Dead Rising 2 trophy video I think is still my most viewed of the new format of trophy videos. So we'll see about that, but definitely also got the retro achievement stuff to work on, especially with LEGO Star Wars. The Call of Duty 2 Big Red One video probably won't take super long just because it's literally just beat the game on hard. So yeah, nothing in the way of actual trophy progress, but we will be back on trophy hunting in the very near future once we get done with the current games being worked on with retro achievements. But speaking of retro achievements, here is the progress made in the past week. I worked on technically 4 different games, even though 2 of them don't actually have achievements. So the first one is Call of Duty 2 Big Red One for the PS2. I got the Mastery Badge for this game in less than 8 hours of actual gameplay. This game is not particularly hard for the most part because every single achievement is tied to beating the game. There are 14 for simply beating the 14 missions on normal or higher, and 14 more for beating the game's levels on hard difficulty, which is the hardest difficulty available. So looking back on it, looking back at the missions, Been Through Worse is the prologue level, so it's not actually a technical chapter, it's just the prologue. It's not too bad on hard at all. The main thing with this game is that unlike pretty much all of the modern Call of Duty games, except for World War II and the really super hard YOLO mode of Infinite Warfare, Aside from stuff like that, this game does not have regenerating health. It has health packs, and you actually die very, very quickly in this one. Like, you can, if you're on hard, you can drain your entire health in just a couple of hits, potentially. But unlike something like Call of Duty Classic, you actually do get health packs on hard, and for the most part, it's relatively generous. The other major thing is that this game does not have a lot of checkpoints. So do keep that in mind. There's not a lot of checkpoints. You'll often go pretty far between checkpoints when you do actually get them, so just keep that in mind. So then you have Chapter 1, which is the one where you actually fight the Vichy French, of all things. And this level, the very beginning when you're in the on-rails vehicle section is a little bit tough, but after that there's nothing insanely hard with it. It's a pretty fun level. Then you have the tank mission, which is one of the easier levels in the game, even on the hardest difficulty. Then you have Desert Fox, which has a slightly tricky part at the very beginning, but that's really about it. For the most part, it's a fairly easy level. You also get a good sniper rifle during it. Counterattack isn't overly difficult, but it's on probably the higher end of the spectrum in terms of overall difficulty in this game, just because you have like that area where you have to run away toward the end, and you have to like get the med kit and the medic over to the sergeant, stuff like that. Liberators was harder than I expected simply because it's in the plane, so you're kind of in a confined environment, and it's kind of random as to whether or not the enemy planes, even if you shoot down tons of them, it's kind of random as to whether or not the game decides to actually be like, oh, you shot a bunch of planes down, but hey, your plane took way too much damage, so you failed, sort of situation. Then you get to Operation Husky, which is the first Italian mission. This one's not too bad. It's a little bit long, but it's nothing too terribly bad. Piano Lupo, this is one that I played a lot of as a kid, and aside from the very beginning, like, turret section that gave me way more trouble than it really should have, it is a long level, but it's not insanely hard. Then Farewell to Friends, this is the final mission of the Italian campaign. This one's actually fairly short, wasn't too difficult for the most part. Great Crusade, this is one of the two missions in the game that really gave me a fair amount of trouble on hard. This is the D-Day Normandy invasion mission, and the first like half of it or so is fairly straightforward. It's just the later parts of it, like clearing all the bunkers and stuff, just the amount of enemies in those areas can really, really easily overwhelm you if you're not careful. And I mean, again, on hard, you die really quickly, even though there are health packs. So that level, I spent a good bit of time on like one particular checkpoint. Easy Detail has a relatively tricky first part, like both defending that little mill as well as like the first couple defensive portions, but after that it's not anything too terribly bad. Then you get into Crucifix Hill. This is a level I was expecting to be actually really bad from what I remember as a kid, but honestly I didn't struggle with this one too much. I got through it fairly quickly. Well, I mean, it is kind of a long level, but I mean, I got through it without insane amounts of trouble or anything like that. Last Train actually ended up being very easy. I only died on that one, I think, one time overall, so that level ended up going actually really, really well. And then the Dragon's Teeth, which I would definitely argue is probably the hardest mission in the game overall, just because it has some very difficult portions, especially when you have to cross the actual Dragon's Teeth, because you have infinitely... Well, I always thought it was infinitely respawning enemies, but it may not actually be infinitely respawning. Like, if you kill enough of the tower guards, eventually they stop. And, like, they slow down coming from in front of you, even if they don't completely stop. So I could be wrong on the whole infinite enemy spawn points in this game. They might just have, like, so many enemies in them that it seems infinite, but isn't actually. So if anyone ever wants to confirm that for me, please let me know, because I'm actually kind of curious about that now. But yeah, overall, not too hard of a completion. Got through it within, like, 7 or 8 hours of gameplay. Yeah, 7 hours and 50 minutes of actual gameplay, so basically 8 hours, whereas LEGO Star Wars took 10.5 hours of actual playtime. This game does not have a separate achievement list the way that LEGO Star Wars does, but LEGO Star Wars' other achievement list is actually easier, so I won't be doing that anytime on stream. I might still do it at some point, but it's actually easier, so there would be no point of doing it on stream. Then I actually finished off Freedom Fighters, which unfortunately this game does not have an achievement list, and I don't even think anyone's like making a list right now, unfortunately. This one could easily have actually a fairly challenging achievement list if they really wanted to, because when you look at it, the hardest difficulty is probably pretty difficult, because I've never actually beaten it on the hardest, only the second hardest. And even the second hardest was giving me some trouble in a few places, especially like the fact that there's no way to get like checkpoints during the mission where you're alone in the sewers. And just some of the areas on Governor's Island are just kind of a pain to get through, as well as the assassination mission can be quite difficult if you don't know exactly what you're doing and don't know the sort of secret, cheesy tactic to get out at the end. So I would definitely love to see an achievement list get made for that game. It would probably be like beat the game on the highest difficulty and get kills with different weapons, maybe a couple of like miscellaneous Easter eggs if there are any that would really count well for it, stuff like that. Luckily, I know the game well enough that it probably would be fine, but I also found out during that playthrough that you actually can destroy that stupid armored car that'll drive around some of the levels and deposit lots more enemies. You can actually blow it up, but it immediately respawns, which was disappointing. I also played a little bit of Rocket Power Beach Bandits. This game was actually the very first game I ever really had on console, because when I got my GameCube for Christmas, whatever year I got 3 games with it, which were Rocket Power Beach Bandits, Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights, and Super Mario Sunshine. But this was the big game that I was really looking forward to playing, and it was the first one that I started playing. So this game has a very fond place in my heart and memory, and it was a lot of fun to play it on there. Unfortunately, this one doesn't have an achievement list either yet, which is kind of surprising, but I would assume it probably will get one with some of these other kids' games that get them, and it's just like, you could beat the game, get every single gold coin in the game, probably like defeat every type of robot maybe a certain number of times, use every type of puck, stuff like that. I don't think it would be an insanely hard completion, but some of the collectibles are a little bit out of the way. But it was fun playing that one. But the main progression made in the past week was on Barnyard the video game for the PS2. So this completion isn't overly difficult, but it's definitely a bit of a step up from the previous couple of games. But for me, I actually know the game very well, so that's made it a little bit easier for me. So in terms of the achievements, there's way more of them. As you can see, 83 total, as well as a couple of missables. So a lot of the achievements are story related. So like everything through here is all story related. I think it's all in order, correct? Yep. So basically everything through, everything through here is unmissable and story related. Those are not all of the story related achievements, but they're all the ones I've done so far. The game's 9 chapters long. So yeah, a ton of them are just completion based for beating the game, which is kind of nice. So I've also obtained 16 recipe rocks. There are 32 total, and I've made at least 16 of the recipes so far, but still have quite a few more of those left to find because we still have more areas of the map to explore. I performed 3 tricks off of the ramp in Ben's Hill, or more than 3 tricks, so 4 tricks. Not too hard, just took a few tries, probably would have been easier with one of the better bikes. Then I managed to get all of the Gopher Bucks from most of the Gold Rush machines, so the one in the barnyard, the one in the barn itself, the one on the South Path, the one at Ben's Hill, which is the one that I most often used when I was younger, the one from the Beatty Farm, and the one from the Old Mill. But I have not done the last 2 yet. I haven't been able to get the one at Izzy Springs yet, because I keep missing a couple of coins somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where. And then there's one more I don't have access to yet. I managed to get the honey jar without being hurt, which was nice. Got that first try. It's actually fairly easy. But I also managed to get this royal jelly achievement done first try. So this one is... I thought it was going to be a lot harder than it was, but it's actually not too terribly difficult. It's just something that's so unknown to most players that almost no one's ever gone for it. So all you actually have to do is just scrape every bit of honey out of all 3 hives during the honey collecting minigame, which is like 15 total hive clearings, I guess you could say. And if you clear them all those times, you get the royal jelly. It does actually appear to happen every single time. It's not actually random, it looks like it is every single time, which is really nice. So it's not a random chance if you actually do manage to clear all the hives, so that's kind of nice. And then I've gotten star rankings on most of the mini games played so far. Out of all these, the Sharp Squirter at the Barnyard, or all the Sharp Squirters are easy in this game, although they're actually a little bit easier on the Wii version, just because you can aim a little bit more precisely and faster. Mud Jumpers is pretty easy to get it on. Tease the Mailman's pretty easy. Chasing Chicks is pretty easy. Barnyard Pool, this one took quite a few tries for me because I kept failing when I really shouldn't have. Chicken Coop Defender is pretty easy. Vegetable Patch Defender is easy. Freddy's Dream is really, really freaking weird. It's a straight up fever dream. That is a really weird mission, but it wasn't too hard. Beginner and normal chicken launch aren't too bad, though the normal chicken launch did take me a few tries, just because I kept messing up when I shouldn't have. Then you have the Go for Golf ones, so I've done the regular, the back 9, and the 18 holes. So the 18 holes one is listed as missable. I could have sworn that you could replay this minigame, because I've never had any problems with it before, and I could have sworn that you could replay it. Oh, maybe you can't. So maybe that was only ever like a Wii thing, so... Because I could have sworn I didn't do it every single time on the Wii, but could still replay it, so... I don't know if that's true or not, but apparently it is missable, and apparently you can't replay it for some reason, which is super weird. Because again, I could have sworn you could on the Wii version, but maybe I'm wrong. But I still got it first try, no problem, so nothing to worry about there. Just as long as you save before it. It's during Chapter 5 when you're trying to comfort Otis and everything, so just know that it's there. So then we have all of these, like a bunch of the remaining achievements. Everything through here is unmissable and story-related, so we're going to get all those naturally. This one, I don't know exactly what you have to do for this one, but I'm assuming it's something kind of naturally unlocked. All of the recipe rocks, we have most of them, but there's still a few left to find in new areas. Same with the hints. Have to finish creating all the recipes. 100% the barn, which just takes some time and quite a bit of coins to do. Become the Barnyard Champion just requires you to get a star in like 20 of the mini games, but you have to get a star in every one of them anyway. This one's missable if you had played the game before having a Retro Achievements patch installed on it, because then you would have all of the bonuses unlocked already, and you wouldn't be able to get this no matter what without completely deleting all of your save data. But it's not going to be missable for me because I never played it before on this version, so have nothing to worry about. The 5 Super Squirts, I've done I think 3 of them so far. The one at the BD Farm, the one in the main barn, and the one out in the Dandelion Meadows, so there's like 2 more of them. Because I know there's one at Izzy Springs, and the last one's somewhere out in the Gulch, and I haven't gone to either of those yet. 3 bike tricks in each of these areas. We can't get to the junkyard yet. South Path, I'm trying to remember... I don't know which one that actually is, now that I think about it. But Old Mill, that one shouldn't be... I mean, that one I've tried a couple of times, just haven't quite gotten it yet, but it's nothing insane. Then you have to get all the coins from the Grizzly Gulch and Izzy Springs. Gold Rush machines, I haven't gotten a chance at the Grizzly Gulch one yet, but the Izzy Springs one I keep coming close. I might need to actually look at a video of that because I keep missing a few of them. So then you just have a bunch more star rankings to get. Tease Mrs. Beatty is a little bit harder than the original one. Chasing Chicks against the Jersey Cows isn't too bad. The Expert Chicken launch is definitely harder, but shouldn't be too bad. Precision Go for Golf is definitely harder than Timed Go for Golf, but it shouldn't be too bad. Cow tipping, I actually do have access to this, but somehow I didn't get it the first time, which is really weird. Same, Milk Bar, I'm not surprised I didn't get it that time, because I think you're only allowed to play a few levels of it the first time, but I'll get both of those eventually. Joyride is not until later on in the game. Barnyard Darts and Whack-A-Rack, I don't have the machines unlocked yet. But yeah, probably 2 more streams and we should be done with that game. Now, the GameCube version of this game actually is more difficult, and it is one that I will probably not do on stream, but probably will play and try to put it into the video with the main game, with the PS2 version that I've done. So you have a bunch of unmissable story stuff, like everything through here is unmissable and story progress related, so nothing to worry about with those. All the recipe rocks, all the hints, all the milkweed, all the super squirts, all the recipes, all of the night barn. So none of those should be an issue. Those are all basically the same as what we're already doing. Then become the ultimate party animals, so get, 20 of the star rankings. That one's the same as the other version. Then you have to get every single gopher buck on every single machine once again, as well as the star ranking in every single game. So really everything through here is identical. So everything through here is basically identical to what we've already done, or what we will end up doing in this. So aside from that, though, then we start to get to some of the more miscellaneous achievements. So you have Bike Race 1, you have to win with all 39 gopher bucks. I'm surprised that one's not missable, though, because I can't remember. You must be able to replay that one then. But then you have to win all the other tracks. So this is the second race you do. This is the charity race. And then these are the last 2. And you have to win all of them while collecting all the gopher bucks, which these first 2 aren't that hard. I did do that while I was sort of in testing. This one I don't know about, honestly, because there are a few that are kind of insanely... Well, I guess if you got them all in the first lap and just use the rubber banding AI to catch up to them. I don't know about 4 or 5 yet because I haven't done those yet. All the Go for Bucks and Charity Flight, that looks horrible. Now, the one good thing is that the charity levels, you actually can save between them, which I didn't think you could because I thought it was all just one mission and you can't save inside of missions. But that one would probably be pretty annoying because that does not control very well. Charity Squirter, that one probably... I don't know about that one either because... Well, no, that's probably not that bad because as long as you just do it quickly because there's only one wave. Then Charity Golf, that shouldn't be that bad. I mean, as long as you don't mind just running around and grabbing all the coins. Because it's only the front 9 holes, so it shouldn't be that bad. Extra Joyride, you can replay that once you get it. And then you have a lot of specific, like, minigame specific ones. So this one would be easy if you really needed to go for it. This one isn't that bad. So this one probably require a fair bit of RNG and like a good run of it, but it's not insane. This one is actually pretty easy. This one probably won't be too hard when I get to it. This one, I'm not sure how you can do it without hiding, but doing it without getting stung shouldn't be a problem. This probably wouldn't actually be that bad. I mean, you can't close the gates on them, but as long as you just throw them out quickly, you should be able to get it. This one... how do you do it without throwing the raccoons? I don't know. Freddy's Dream without losing... That's easy. That's super easy. Chicken Launch. That one's not too hard. Now, I don't know how you do that one without using any boosts or going through more than one ring. I'm not actually sure how you would do that one. The Joyride without going under 100... Now, how would that work, though? Because it's like, you do have to speed up to 100 miles an hour the first time, so I don't know about that. The Milk Bar one shouldn't be anything too bad. I don't know, actually. Whack-a-Rack, that minigame's kind of annoying. This one seems actually very challenging, because I did find out that you can dodge now, which is kind of nice, but that could actually be quite difficult. This one probably just requires a few tries. This one should be easy. The Barnyard Deluxe Bike is just expensive. This is related to the Royal Jelly, but now I know how to get it. And then this one's just missable, but it's easy. So, yeah, I don't know about that version. That's definitely a few more, like, challenging achievements this time on it. But, I don't know. I mean, probably we'll do it at some point, but just not on stream. So, with that, we can go back to the main profile. That's all my progress currently. 2 games fully mastered. 1 game not fully mastered yet, but working on it with 224 of the 448 points, so basically halfway through on the actual achievements. Other games that didn't have achievements, unfortunately, stuff like that. But definitely making progress here. Top 65,000 now in the rankings, so going up, which is kind of nice. Decent amount of points. Otherwise, in terms of trophies, level 902, 90%, 30,794 total trophies, 889 platinums, 5,947 golds, 8,272 silvers, 15,686 bronzes. Still losing spots, but not that quickly. So now plans for the upcoming week. So for the next week, we got to finish off Barnyard, of course, is a big thing to finish. And then after that, we'll probably jump back more into actual trophy hunting. I just don't know exactly what I'll be playing at any given time. Could do some Death Stranding at times, but I don't know if I really want to stream too much of that because it's probably getting a little bit boring for people. So might stream more of that at some point, might not. Might try to find something different to play. Might still do like Another Crab's Treasure or something because it has that debug mode in it once I end up getting like too annoyed at playing it normally. But aside from that, I don't really think there's anything else that I'm really planning on working on this week in terms of games. I am still working on the Astrobot video. It's fairly close to being done, so within the next couple of weeks. Then probably start on the Lego Star Wars video sometime after that or during that. And yeah, I think that's going to be about it. So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, go and leave a like, subscribe, ring the bell if you haven't done so already. Let me know down in the comments what kind of progress you guys made this week. And streams and stuff should be mostly normal, just like I talked about last week. Now that it's the start of college football season, Saturdays are often going to be taken up with college football stuff. And then 2 Saturdays from now, I'm going to be busy because I'm going to be at a concert. And then in just about 4 weeks, we actually head to Japan, which is, I cannot freaking wait for that. Going to be vlogging lots of that. So during that time, I'll have videos scheduled to upload, but obviously won't be doing anything major during that time for YouTube stuff. But yeah, super excited for all of that. I will see you guys back here later this week for some more content, trophies, and achievements.